Hello and welcome to earlymusicsources.com. My name is Elam Rotem and today we'll talk about modes in the 16th and 17th centuries. We all know that before things came down to merely two different kinds of scales, the major scale and the minor scale, there were different kinds of modes. In the spirit of the scientific Renaissance thinking, many theorists tried to make sense and explain the modes. Often torn between medieval and Greek theories, they invented new ways of naming and recognizing the modes. However, the final outcome of all these theories together was already in old times considered as a complete mess. In this episode, we'll try to put some order in the subject and see what we can nevertheless learn from the modes. Modes, first mentioned in the 9th century, were originally a way of grouping and categorizing Gregorian chants. Modes are made of specific sequences of notes. As opposed to the way that we think nowadays on scales as octaves, the modes are formed by sequences of 5 notes and of 4 notes, called also species of fifths and of fourths. Within the diatonic system, there are only so many acceptable variants for these sequences, that is, variants in which the perfect fourths and fifths can be ordered in successions of whole steps and half steps. If we take the various species of fifths and place the various species of fourths above them, we get the 4 authentic modes, one on D, also called Dorian, one on E, Phrygian, one on F, Lydian, and one on G, Mixolydian. The first note at the bottom of the species of fifth is also called the finalis of the mode, as it is normally the note on which the piece ends. Now, if we put the species of fourths below the species of fifths, we get the 4 plagal modes, Hypodorian, Hypophrygian, Hypolydian, and Hypomixolydian. These 8 groupings, which are based on the 4 different finalis notes, D, E, F, and G, are the famous 8 modes. So we have 8 modes. But aren't there actually 12 modes? Well, it depends whom you ask. Let's see. As we saw, the 8 modes are based on 4 different finalis notes, D, E, F, and G. Glareanus, however, in his 1547 book called Dodecachordon, suggested that there were actually more modes if we considered 2 more finalis notes, namely A and C. A mode on B was still out of the question, since its 5th degree is a diminished interval. So based on the finalis A, we have the Aeolian mode with its authentic and plagal versions. And based on the finalis C, we have the Ionian mode, of course also with its authentic and plagal versions. With these 4 new modes, we have a total of 12 modes. This set of 12 modes was accepted by many, most famously by Zarlino, who presented it in his influential 1558 book Istituzioni Armoniche. However, some years later, Zarlino decided to renumber the 12 modes, having the first mode start on the finalis C, so that which was previously the 11th mode with the Greek name Ionian, now became the first mode with the Greek name Dorian. Whatever reasons he had for that renumbering, it ended up being simply too confusing. And although this numbering was adopted by some, on the whole, it just added another level of difficulty to a subject already full of controversies. The modes were originally invented and employed in the